Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's session on AI and finance. All right, we're going to kick off with this fireside chat, and after which we could open the floor to questions. So feel free to ask some questions in this closed space. This is a safe space, and after which you're going to have a networking session out in case you have any questions that you might want to ask. Feel free to. All right. So I guess all of you are familiar with this gentleman over here with 36 years in accounting and finance. And he has worn several hats, right? In the private, the government sectors, and also as a startup investor. I would love to hear from him, right, on his journey and what's one change that you think has completely changed or reshaped the accounting and finance industry. All right, and something you never saw coming.
Thank you. But before I answer that, I want to just thank Renee for having me here, Arcc Spaces. Thank you, Renee, for agreeing to speak with me. This is going to be a chat. It's not going to be an official or formal conversation, but I know DNA is listening. Thank you. The question is, so I've been working for the last 36, 37 years. I'm a finance professional. I started off as a factory accountant in Matsushita in Shala, where we built TVs and we shipped them all over the world. Probably was my most boring job because I was doing cost accounting. And then I was fortunate to join American Express, where I went into finance. So from accounting, I went into finance. And back in those days, I was using a lot of Excel sheets, churning out numbers. I was a number cruncher. And then I went off to Australia to look at risk and credit. Again, number crunching. Things changed when I went into telco world and Lucent Technologies particularly, when we started using back-end systems like SAP and Oracle, where a lot of the slicing and dicing was done by the platform. Not really the platform, but the service. Platform hadn't come in yet. And then things changed again when I ran my own company called Lava Protocols, where I was the go-to-market for Salesforce.com and for Google Maps. And that showed me the power of the platform. That showed me the power of a lot of things being done by the platform using a pattern, not artificial intelligence yet, but using a pattern. And then I saw the kind of work that people were doing was changing. Nobody was losing the jobs, but they just started going to higher places. Then again, it changed when I went into MDEC, where I looked after the ecosystem for Malaysia, the digital ecosystem for Malaysia, and connecting different ecosystems around the world. So startup ecosystem, scale-up ecosystem, funding ecosystem, market access ecosystem, all these ecosystems were then connected at MDEC, and that is where I saw the real change, and so that is where I saw things moving very, very fast. When fintech came in, when e-commerce platforms came in, things were moving very, very fast. And I think why Ning called me was I wrote an article in LinkedIn to talk about the future AI and its role in the finance sector. Why I wrote that article is I had just come out of MDEC on September 30th. I was catching up with a lot of people. And there was a conversation with my alumni saying that, Gopi, we're going to be losing our jobs. All us finance guys are going to be losing our jobs. Accounting guys are going to be losing our jobs. And I was trying to tell them, not necessarily true. You may be doing better things. I think what will go away are not jobs, are not people, but tasks will go away. So your ledger entries, your reconciliation, your account, very simple accounting will all go away. And I think as accountants, as finance professionals, what's going to happen is you're going to take on roles that are going to value add in terms of data sets, in terms of interpreting data, in terms of boardroom reporting, in terms of management reporting, where you're able to provide data sets that make informed data decisions, right? And I think that's where it's going. I've not, in my 35, 36 years at work, seen accounting firms shut down or EY's audit firms being retrenched. No. but they've always started improving in the output. So that is the background to why we are here today.
So for the administrative tasks, it will be taken over by AI.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other type of work or tasks that you definitely need human touch?
Sure.
Something that AI cannot replace.
I think there are a lot of things that AI cannot replace. Human touch is definitely one of them. You still need a good leader. You don't need a robot. You need a good leader that's got empathy, that motivates, that's able to build you, that's able to reason out with you. I think that will never go away. I think if you look at mergers and acquisition, if you look at finance and accounting, mergers and acquisitions is an area that AI cannot take over. I think it is a lot to do with number crunching, or rather understanding numbers that have been crunched by the AI platforms, but using your head and putting it to a argument, number one. Number two, in mergers and acquisition, many people think it's all about numbers. It's also about personalities. It's about the relationship. It's about the body language on the other side of the table. It's so many things that AI cannot see. Those are things I think, and coincidentally, we are talking about human ink, right? Yeah. Yeah. Those are things that can never be replaced by AI. There was, yeah. So I feel that whilst finance, the data sets are all being looked into in detail. For example, if you look at an audit, the audit manager those days will take samples. But today, because of AI, they can take the entire data set and come up with a report. But the reasoning doesn't go away. It's still a human touch for the reasoning, right? So those are areas I think will benefit where AI is being used.
The human will still make the ultimate decision, right? And as you were talking about audit, what do you think is the future of audit with AI on governance and fraud prevention?
Sure. So I sit on the board of an insurance company. When you sit on the board, it's all about governance, right? And I feel, and one of my tasks as a board member is to use technology, use AI, and to bring governance even closer. Not easy, but it is helping. It is helping where because, again, if you go into the audit side, they take samples, but right now you can get the auditors to do an entire data set and tell me the patterns. Number one, the patterns. Where is the governance that's lacking? Where is the governance that lacking intentionally? And then the thing that I think AI is going to help and it's beginning to show is the predictability of governance breach. It can predict that looking at the patterns, I think you guys need to look at this. And I think that kind of value that AI brings, or the technology brings with AI, is something that a human, a group of people cannot sit down in 2 minutes and give you that answer, which AI can. A group of people who will understand the data sets, will be able to interpret what the AI is saying and take precautions and tighten the governance.
Reflect the right time.
Reflect the right time, yes.
Fantastic. And maybe you could share with us, if you could redesign accounting programs, degrees, and what is something that you think it is important to add, and what we should remove? Yeah.
Sure. So I'm very careful when I say this because I have a finance degree, and when I studied very hard trying to understand the net present value, the tables, the statistics, only to realize when I went to work, it was all done by Excel. And a touch of a button, it's all calculated. I understand why I have to go through the reasoning. But today, when I really look at statistics, when I look at my son's 18, he's allowed to use ChatGPT in college. He's allowed to use so many tools that was prohibited in my time. So what I see is, what I realize is I'm a baby boomer generation. Then you got the X, you got the Y, you got the Z, and you got the alphas coming up. The Z is born digital, and they're beginning to take leadership positions. So the thinking is changing. The alphas are the latest ones coming in, but they are born AI. So it is going to come to them so naturally, and they'll be able to adopt it very, very quickly. The reason I'm saying is I've got two girls who are 27, 26, and they think differently. My son, who's 18, thinks very differently. And I believe it's the exposure to technology. It's the exposure to education that has, so in one family that you can see the difference. So to answer your question, I think finance accounting is important, but I would instill courses like AI, coding, understanding algorithms, understanding data usage, ethical use of data. This whole thing has opened up to a lot of unethical use as well. So what is the ethical use? So even in law, in the legal practice, you've got new areas of law coming up: cyber law, security law, compliance law, and even in Malaysia with Govind Singh heading up Ministry of Digital, there are few legal frameworks that have been changed. So these need to change. Accounting frameworks need to change. The way we look at numbers need to change. The way we derive numbers need to change. So those are areas I think, if you ask me, should be those courses should be instilled into the accounting courses or finance courses.
Do you think the same applies to all other functions?
Yeah, I think so.
So everybody needs to know coding and
look.
or
You touch any industry now, any industry, there's an element of technology in there. Now the element of technology is going to be embedded. AI is going to be embedded in there. So if you ask me, AI is going to be everywhere. AI is going to be everywhere, and it will be so subtle you won't even know.
How about specialists? So I turn it the other way around. Specialists who are developers and coders and AI specialists. They must now know the applications.
Yeah, and the tough part, and I'm not a coder, I have nothing to do with AI, I understand the ecosystem. So when you all call me I'm an AI expert, I'm not. What I know is the specialists have a tough job. The specialists for 6 months, and then technology changes, So it's upkeeping, reskilling, upskilling your knowledge that is moving so fast. And we have, I told you, baby boomer, when I was in primary school, the TV was black and white. That is the transformation I've seen in the last 50 years or 60 years that has moved from black and white TV to this, right? We watch our movies here. I think the last 3 years has moved so fast because of AI. I can't imagine what the next 10 years is going to look like. This is frightening, right? In a positive way and in a negative way.
Now, give us an example of a company that's using AI in finance that's blowing your mind, and what can we learn from that?
I'm not going to choose any of the local companies because I have a conflict of interest. I used to look after all these companies. The one that really blows my mind is Ant Financials from China.
Oh.
If you look at Ant Financials, look at their platform. Please don't put this on recording.
Okay, sure.
I shouldn't mention any company. But Ant Financials, look at their platform. And because I'm from finance, and you guys are all probably from finance, end to end, they've used AI to derive credit scoring, risk management, cross-selling, it's just mind-blowing in the way they have used technology, AI, in an area that is so regulated, and yet they're able to get the outcome and stay ahead of the market. It's amazing. So that company is a company that I've seen the case study, I've read the case study, it is mind-blowing and the speed that it went. So if you ask me that one company that blows my mind, it will be AI and financial.
Interesting. And with your global experience, could you share with us what are some of the opportunities that you see in ASEAN, even Malaysia, this AI revolution?
Oh, it's a power-packed one. There's nothing to call. I think and I'm going to speak on behalf of Malaysia. I'm Malaysian, passionate about building the business here and connecting ASEAN. And that's what I did for 10 years. I think where Malaysia stands to win now is to take advantage of the AI for SMEs, right? SMEs are the last ones to digitize or transform. It's not unique to Malaysia, it's everywhere in the world. But because the millennials and the alphas are going to come into the workforce, and when you come into the workforce, they're also going to become entrepreneurs, they will get it very quickly.
Yes.
And I feel that the shift of MSMEs going digital is going to increase, and the tailwind will be the millennials and the alphas coming into the workforce. They will move it. And that is something if Malaysia wants to champion AI for SMEs. And I think we have the Prime Minister on this, and I think he is looking at it. After all, he's got the right initials, AI. And he would be able, and he's driving this, right? And I think you need the top to lead the way. And I think that is probably Malaysia's biggest advantage in the use of AI and SMEs. And that could be a showcase for the rest of ASEAN if Malaysia gets it right.
So do you think we're at a stage where AI utilization is more for productivity, or you think we should quickly move into utilizing AI for innovation, product innovation?
So I think AI currently is being used for efficiency and productivity. But I think if we are able to use AI in a normal man down the street, is getting better customer experience or IR experience in Malaysia using AI, I think that is where there is a tipping point where we are able to use technology that affects the man in the street. It's already doing it. Grab, you want to get a ride-hailing app, it's using AI. If you want to do certain banking services, it's using AI. It's already happening, but not to the level of government services going AI. Right? Because if we can get all of it, if I don't have to take a transport to go and stand in the queue in a government office and I'm using all this by AI, that I think customer service, I think that will be a model that we can showcase the rest of ASEAN. It's government using AI.
Right. Now, any questions from the floor? Please feel free to shout out. Any questions?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
If you were to look at legacy companies, do you find them to be sort of slow into getting into AI versus the new setup? And because you've dealt with the ecosystem, what's your learnings for legacy companies to jumpstart and get into this?
Fantastic, very good one. I think the transformation starts here, right? It's a mindset change that needs to happen. And if you don't have the right leader in a legacy company, forget it. If you don't have the right board in a legacy company, forget it. Now, if you look at a telco, I don't want to name this telco, the Malaysian telco, they already saw that they need to transform, digital transformation needed to happen, they needed to use AI. They formed a digital company outside, call it even different name, outside the office, they set it up somewhere else. Because the culture, the mindset, the people running it all different. From your tie and suit to jeans and t-shirt, you cannot mingle it. So to answer this, it's very tough to take a traditional company and transform it overnight or even within a year or 2 years. If you ask me, you should shut it down and build it up again. I think less money wasted, less calories burned. It's a tough, what I'm saying is tough, but that's probably one of the ways to do it.
Well,
So new team, new
in
culture.
that case, wouldn't you think the government is the biggest legacy company of all?
Absolutely, but you're restricted. You've got the unions, you've got the government. So if you ask me, that's the right thing to do. How do you transform otherwise? But that is a tough call because it involves people's livelihood, etc. But if you look at a company, if I am the shareholder, I'll shut it down and build it up. That's a good question.
Sorry, I'm hogging a bit, but if you were to look at Ant Financial, they were also, I mean, they're not a historical, they're not JP Morgan, but they're also not slightly, when they've been around for some time. How do you think they have made that?
I think it was leadership, a foresight, shareholders pushing it. And, in China, is a survival. You have to survive. Alibaba was going in there, and so the shareholders were pushing it. And they changed the CEO a couple of times, they changed the management a couple of times, make sure that the right management got in. And they took that time. By the way, Roy has been following me since 2008 when I started Lava Protocols. It's always been in my... Yeah. So he's seen me evolve. I had no grey hair when he first met me. He still doesn't have.
I just hide it a bit better than
Renee, choose. Yes.
Sure. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Hi. Thank you for all the information. And I have a quick questions. And then Gopi, what do you think about in Malaysia? How well are they act to control we are using AI in Malaysia? Question number one. And then are they really up to the standards now and up to the trend? And then managing the regulations about people are using AI to do their, number one, to do their job and for their daily life and so on. So what do you think?
So I've left my job in MDEC, by the way, but I have some information or some knowledge. I think what I've observed is the Ministry of Digital has done a great job in establishing the frameworks, re-looking at some of the legislative laws that are outdated to ensure that data frameworks are all updated and ethical use of AI is coming in.
Yeah.
It can't be done overnight, but I think the thinking is already there. They know the point of arrival, but the journey has started. Now that will transform, I think, into even regulatory bodies. I think Bank Negara is also doing something on AI. Securities Commission is also doing something. So you can see it moving. Maybe you don't feel it yet, but if you put in an application and you are trying to do an AI company, a lot of questions that will be asked. What are you doing? How are you using it? Right? You see a lot of scams happening.
Yeah,
So people are already coming in. As much as the scams are happening, we also can see that the enforcement is also coming in really quickly these days. You know that someone's on your back, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, so you spoke about losing the jobs. There's just sharing. We have been doing automation for the past 7-8 years. PFSA market, SMEs. Probably not more than 5% of the people. Even those people have shifted to another department to do some other. So at least we have not seen people who have lost job losing automation. I really hope that AI will be the same with us, right?
Yeah. So I can relate to that because again I sit on the board of MCIS, which is a legacy insurance company using legacy model, and it's moving to digital. None of them will do their job. What the company is doing is it's mapping each skill set, the skill set. So it's giving the opportunity for the employee to upskill and reskill, and that's the way you move them to the right. And if you're looking at mundane jobs, looking at applications, writing, that's all gone. I don't need a copywriter anymore. I've got ChatGPT, and I can't live without my ChatGPT. Right? I write my articles. I'm not sure the edits. Send it in there. It comes out even better than what I wrote. So things have changed. I think we need to understand things have changed. Employees need to understand if they don't reskill and upskill, you may be irrelevant. As long as you have the urge and the energy to learn and move up, I don't think you'll ever be displaced, right? So yeah.
Yeah, so we need to level up from being an administrator to a strategist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and up our game, right? Yeah. Anyone else?
Sure.
Okay, so there still seems to be, at least according to Chan Nikang, in a recent tech talks, he said that there is still a bit of cynicism and skepticism towards AI. AI. I just want to ask from your perspective on. Is it true that we are actually skeptical from your experience, whether it's from companies or the people that you know, etc.?
Skepticism of AI.
Yeah, like people are still skeptical of AI is gonna take our jobs
and then the reluctance to learn
Yes.
and take on. Okay.
I think I don't see many of them, fortunately. I see even my age group trying to embrace AI and trying to relearn it. I do it myself. Unfortunately, I don't see many of them. But what I'm seeing is a lot of companies, the tech companies, are now looking at putting an AI layer on their platforms, putting an AI layer on their solutions. So AI is becoming very relevant. These tech companies know, whether it's a cybersecurity, whether it is tech, whether it is a fintech company, a lot of AI elements are coming in, which gives you another problem. Every company is calling it, I'm an AI company, right? And then you've got the ecosystem moving very fast. So now you've got very, very focused funds who want to invest in AI companies. Right? So you've got a lot of funds coming into this region looking at AI companies. So, and then the valuation is very different for an AI company. Multipliers are different. Right? So a lot of companies are rushing towards just putting a label on an AI company. But how far have we gone down that route? So yeah.
So how far have we gone down there?
I think we have a lot more to go.
Long way to go.
Long way to go.
Yeah, it's like people can't understand the power of compounding interest, right? And like, look at that, we're in like the 90s with the web, with the internet, right? Like right now we're like 1996, right? And then AI, our technology now is so much faster than it was back then. So it's compoundedly growing at such a faster rate that we can't even comprehend it as humans. Like in 5 years, AI is going to be smarter than all the collective thoughts of humanity.
Even if you take your industry, right? I was watching a movie, a clean movie with 100% by AI.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And that's now. What's it going to be in 2 years?
Exactly.
In 2 or 3 years, you're going to have a director. Your director is basically going to be somebody who's excellent at prompting. And, it's going to be prompting the AI on what angle you want, what kind of lighting you want, what movement you want the character to do, and then stitching that together to be a film.
So the person who will be out of job will be actors and actresses, right?
Yeah.
Because the AI is so accurate, you don't even need a retake.
Yeah, exactly. And we're already seeing with like AI influencers, there's already influencers out there that are digitally created. As a matter of fact, I just created one myself. I use 11 Labs to clone my voice, and then I use an app called Agent, where I do a 5 or 10 minute video sample of myself, and now I have an AI avatar that can make YouTube videos. So
I did one, and they look better than me, so I'm very happy with that.
that's now, right? What's it going to be in 3 years?
Exactly.
And then with the rise of agentic AI, you build agents, another fellow built agents,
Correct.
you just build these agents and they could communicate and also build
So-
better models.
Correct. So I saw a funny, not a commercial, but funny short one, where the guy now has an AI robot as a date.
Yeah.
And he has no arguments. And the nice thing is you can turn it off.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know what's it going to be like in 5 years. It's frightening.
It's going to be, yeah, I think it's into everything. I think here in Asia, actually, we're kind of insulated a little bit from the fully developed countries because they're primarily white collar service based, but here we have low costs. So I think Asia is going to be able to take a little bit longer to adapt in certain fields. That's going to be good for us, right? But in like the United States and Europe and Australia, where wages are really high, those people are going to suffer.
So I think what's going to happen is the future work, as they call it now. Future work is going to be very different from what it is today, as we see. So this is already a future work 10 years ago. This space.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the future work 5 years from? No need 10, 5 years from now. That's changing. And again, I repeat that the millennials are coming in, the alphas are coming in. Their way of working is very different.
Yeah, it's something you said that resonated with me, and I've been talking to a lot of these young guys. I've hired a lot of young people just to like get their perspective because they think differently, right? Like Google came out with something last week called Firebase Studio, and you literally can just prompt an app into existence. I mean, it'll create you a minimal viable product app. So it's just so easy to build businesses now that entrepreneurs are going to thrive. So the traditional workplace is changing, right?
So that is the future of MSMEs, if you ask me. The MSMEs,
Right.
your point earlier,
Yeah.
that would be the future of MSMEs. I'm micro, small, on digital, on platforms. I don't have an office, but I'll be contributing to the GDP from a government perspective.
Yeah, and with AI, you're not going to need an accountant. Because for a small company like that, basic accounting, you can use an AI to run that. You can have somebody with your customer relations, an AI, an agent, right? So you're basically going to be managing agents, essentially, as these SMEs.
Yes. So
One-man shows,
one-man shows and very efficient.
very efficient.
And just like when, again, it tells you my age, when I was applying to IBM and all that, the headline would be IBM, 200,000 people strong. But today, who does that? You are dead. IBM, 5 people strong, ruling the world. WhatsApp, 60, 20 people in WhatsApp, right? So the whole concept has changed.
Right. Any last question from the floor? Anyone?
Let's say for MSME business owner, because the word AI is, like you say, there's too many things. The first thing people come AI is there's ChatGPT, it's like associated already, but there's so much more in AI, right?
Yeah.
So as a small business owner, if they really want to implement AI and they are very new in this, but they want to do it, what is the first step thing they should do? Let's say they really unsure, they really don't know if they have to get consultant,
No,
like that.
don't ever go down that route, consultants. So I think the government is going to come up. I read that they've already launched MDEC launched an SME digitalization initiative. I saw the website link there, right? And I think it's supposed to go in there and get your assessment done, and the assessment readiness level will be indicated whether you are level 1 or level 2 or level 3 or level 4 level 5. 1 is you are non-digital at all. 2 is a little bit. So you get your assessment, and based on that assessment, there will be opportunities for you to look at services that will fit your readiness level, and then that will show you how you go move to your right. I saw the launch. I think your DNA was there. I was there, and I read about it. Yeah, I think that's how government's going to try and educate them SMEs. The SME associations also launched something similar. SME Corpus also launched something similar. So you can see that it is probably, don't go into consultants, guys. You don't need one. You got ChatGPT is enough.
As a business owner, I would say, I mean, if you have a business idea, what would be the first step? The thing is with the AI, you could create your own business plan right away, right? But you need to be that strategist, right? Say, oh, okay, this is the industry that I want to hit. Roughly, you would know, your market. But this time with AI, it can generate the entire business plan on your write-up, what it should be, who you should be reaching out to, your customer base, and what kind of financials you're looking at, right? But of course, you got to do your prompt engineering and give it some inputs based on what you want. And from there, then as for any business owner, what will be your first step, right? You'll be thinking, okay, what will be the brand name, right? And you can use AI to do that. You can generate your logo in just a few seconds. And what makes your social media account? You go, and then you test the market, right, with your products, and you see if it works. Now you can create a website, PPT, in just a few minutes, and you can even have your avatar narrate the entire deck for you in just a few minutes. 50 over slides, we've tested, and within a few minutes, it can narrate. You can put your face there, and you don't need yourself to go down to meet every customer today. Yeah. Even with Zoom, right? You could have your own avatar talking to people if you really want that. But that's not so ethical, right? Yeah. So there are many areas or functions that AI can now replace, right? Administrative staff to marketing to, hitting the market. Last time you need to do a deep analysis on SEO, keywords that matter. You can still do that. You should still have your fundamentals. But with AI, it's so quick, so fast. Yeah. And you should be. Then the next thing is if everyone uses AI, then how? How do you build the market? Then it's all based on how you do things more creatively than others, because we cannot live by templates from what ChatGPT gives us. Because everyone,
Being human.
being human is important, right? So now we're talking about being human. What is something that you enjoy doing that technology can never replace?
Being human. I think the one that I really enjoy, I'm a people guy, and I like people. I enjoy conversing, and my passion are my children. I enjoy being with them. The conversations I have with my children, no technology can replace. And the feeling that I have with the children and the people, no technology can replace. So what I like about non-tech people, passion is about my kids, my family. And the other one is I love gardening. I moved away to Cyberjaya so that I bought a bigger piece of land, and I spend a lot of time in the garden Even before I come to work, I'm watering the plant, and that gives me a lot of peace and pleasure. Those are the non-tech things which I really enjoy.
And you're a great cook too.
I'm a great cook. Yeah, I'm a great cook. I'm a cook. I'm a great cook to my children. So my daughter is in New Zealand, and she's been very homesick. So and then she says, "Papa, you need to come and see me. Can you come and cook for me?" And so I'm going next week Thursday for 8 days just to cook for her.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, those things technology cannot take away. Thank you.
Right. So just to end off, I mean, we have a mix of entrepreneurs here, industry leaders, right? What's your word of advice to all of us on embracing AI? For the future.
I think you have no choice, guys. You need to embrace AI. You have no choice. And the faster you realize that, the better we all are going to be. We're already embracing AI right now, but it's how we further embrace and use it and make our lives better. I think AI is definitely here to stay. It's not going to go away. And the next 3 years is going to be fast, very fast. The next 5 years, last 5 years was very fast. The next day is going to be faster. So let's see.
So, what I'm trying to understand is I get the part as if you're starting a business, you're growing a business, there's a lot of AI you can implement on your side as a business owner. But when I'm trying to get my customers, what I notice in my business and as well as the businesses I work with is that their potential customer does not want to deal with AI. They don't want to deal with tech. They're like, I want to talk to a human. I want to touch and feel the product. So I just want to understand, where do you feel that we will cross that barrier? Well, on our side, we have become all tech-enabled and AI-enabled, but the end user still wants a physical product or a person to talk to.
Sure.
So lots of them there. Two big examples I can think of. One is my mother. During COVID, my mother learned how to use Zoom. You know why? Because there was a necessity. When there's a necessity, you learn to do things. Now, a lot of people say, people in the 70s won't use Grab app to call a taxi. They would really want a taxi service. But today, they're using it. You know why? There's a necessity and the ease. So, the customer experience on the app, they don't know it's all driven by AI, right? So, it's a customer experience of the app that makes the ease of use. And once you feel it, touch it, and you feel it, there's no letting go. Now, that same 70-year-old or 80-year-old man who's using Grab will never go to the roadside and wave a taxi down. But he knows the comfort of it and the ease of using that. So when I look at it, and I was shocked, even my mom, how do you say? I needed to talk to you guys. So I learned how to use it. She was able to share documents, answer WhatsApp, send documents. So it is a necessity. I feel that if the customer experience is there would be adoption. What you're talking about is adoption.
Got it.
Yeah, you will get it. Today, I chat with my bankers because I don't want to see them, because you chat is so easy because you get straight to the point. But if they answer the phone, that is.
Yes. Yeah. So you talk about human experience, right? I think it's the same digitally and in person. People just want that experience, good experience. So, there are chatbots. There are a lot of chatbots being created and say it's AI driven. But then you've got people who are pissed off with the chatbot, right? It's not answering my question. All these portals, government, private, the same, and there's no personality also. And the answers are all the same. And then click here, and then you go next. You don't want that. So, however, there are some banks in which they have done this quite well. So you have it in the app. And when you ask questions, they say, okay, hold on for a minute. We're going to have an officer connect with you. And they chat up with you and ask you what that problem is. And they give you a solution. And you want that bespoke solution. And you don't want to waste your time calling them either. So, they drop you a message and you're cool with it. I think it's that customer experience to shorten that whole, process and reduce frustration. I think that's what customers really want. And whether you want it, digitally, you want to see it, feel it. Now, today, people are buying goods, even luxury goods, online without feeling it. Anyone does that? I know ladies love to buy clothes and apparels and items without even feeling them or even wearing them. And then after buying, because they're lower cost, right? So, okay, it doesn't fit, never mind, I'll just give it away. Or I go to a carousel and sell it, Yeah. So, again, depends what we're talking about, what products we're talking about. Do people really want to have that immersive experience? There was a moment where people were trying to sell that immersive experience, AR, VR, and you wear that goggle just to experience that maybe the handbag. But it's like it's making you groggy. You don't wear the experience, you just want the real thing, right? Yeah. Or you just look at it 2D, 1D, and then you're good enough. Do you really need that goggle to make you feel so giddy before you buy it? Yeah, I think it reaches a point where technology must still bring that value. If it doesn't, no point implementing it for the sake of it. Yeah.
But I
Very good.
also
Yes, very
think it's a bit nuanced because, say, for example, if you already know a brand and you trust it, you don't buying it online without touching and feeling it. But suppose I'm a new founder who's launching something, then people would want to maybe first see the product, try it. Like even things like health goods, protein powder. Like yesterday, I met a founder who's launched a new protein powder. Like for her to get someone to buy that protein powder, they want to try it before they actually buy. So you're right, it depends on the industry as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We presented on this before. That's called the customer trust experience. So the experience is still important, but the trust experience, regardless of what you are selling, consumer goods or even cybersecurity solutions. You may be a cyber product, but people don't trust you. They're not going to buy from you. And how do you build that customer trust experience? You call it the CTX.
And that's the brand. That's building of the brand, it's a trust.
Yes.